Luo Zhongli was born on the outskirts of Chongqing in 1948. In 1968, he graduated from the high school affiliated to Sichuan Academy of Fine Arts. Then he went to a rural and lived there for a whole decade. He has a deep affection for rural China and its residents, which have remained a major theme in his body of work. In 1978, he took the first national college entrance exam after the destructive years of the Cultural Revolution, and was enrolled by the Sichuan Fine Arts Institute, where he stayed as a teacher after graduation. In 1983, he got an opportunity to study at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp in Belgium. The oil painting Father was the famous artwork. He created Father in 1980. The typical face of a Chinese peasant that he depicted in a photorealistic approach has deeply moved Chinese people over the years. Luo painted this Father with relentless accuracy. In this picture, we could see the farmer's bronzed face with wrinkles overspreading and dry lips slightly opening, rough and work-soiled hands holding a broken teacup, and a pair of tough and helpless eyes looking at you in the sun, on the background of a scene of bumper harvest. Father demonstrated all the elements that could impress people, therefore you could know why this painting was named as the Father, from any point of view. Although the farmer's face had been carved plenty of wrinkles over the years, and his mouth with fewer teeth had been filled with much rotten food, we could not see any complaint and anger in his face, but frustration and confusion. Even though he worked hard to create a bumper harvest, he held a broken bowl and still lived an impoverished life. The painter took advantage of ultra-realism to interpret the meaning of Father. We could see that painting looks very real. We could see that Luo drawing all details, such as the dust of the finger, the sweat, the hair and the pen. At that time, China had over 10 years Cultural Revolution. This period was a huge hurt for China. The country lost the order. Rich men, teachers, administration, staff and other intellectuals became the crime because of they had money or had knowledge. Poor people and who was at the bottom of society, people controlled the society and destroyed the order and law. Most of people lost their job. At the end of Cultural Revolution, millions of people died because of hunger. In 1976, the Cultural Revolution was end. After that, China began quickly development. Everyone was full with hope. The whole society was very optimism. At that time, Luo created the Father to show the real facts. Lots of farmers were still very poor. Some artists began to reflect the history. And there were a new party of scar aesthetics. Those artists were showing the scar of the history and the scar that people forgot. When he wanted to show the real world, he thought about the new rich farmer with golden teeth or a bowl was full of meat. However, he chose to show the image of poor and tired Father. This artwork made people to focus on the rural people. Different with West, in China, the farmer of rural were the bottom of society. They were very poor. They were far away with city and those resources such as education, materials, opportunities and so on. They didn't know how to show themselves. So, the society and media often forgot them. However, they were the keystone of society. All people in China came from rural. There are still 0.3 billion farmers today. Thus they are the huge and Silians group people. The dimensions of Father, 2.8 meters by 1.78 meters, is significant. At that time, artists would normally only paint celebrities such as state leaders on that large a scale. Luo said, "But I dedicated that space to a farmer," symbolizing the commencement of the time of people. However, in the early years of the opening up and reform, old values and aesthetics still held strong. And politics overshadowed every aspect of society. Critics were sensitive about the depiction of China, and some accused Father of neglecting the progress in the lives of Chinese peasants after the founding of the RPC. Under pressure, Luo added a ballpoint pen pushed into the peasant's headdress above his left ear to add a suggestion of economic advance. By the end of August 2011, 784 of Luo's pieces had been put on the auction market, 581 of which fetched a total of RMB 422 million. Few painters have achieved such popularity among China's art collectors. Moreover, Luo's works have been collected by many art institutes, including the National Art Museum of China, Shanghai Art Museum, Harvard University, Singapore Art Museum and the National History Museum in Belgium, enabling people the world over to enjoy his vision.